Hey guys, thanks for joining me again today. How are you doing today? I'm doing great. Great day today in Japan. I just wanted to talk today about working in Japan and the kind of different jobs I've done while I've been here. Also, I got a new microphone. Hope it sounds a lot better. Let me know. I think it sounds a lot better personally, so I'll be using it from now on. Anyway, let's jump right in. So, to go over my history a little bit, I have to go back to right around when I got to Japan. There's a lot of part-time jobs you can do, lots of different kinds of opportunities, and you don't even really need to be qualified to do it, as long as you're just kind of competent and your coworkers or your boss likes you. So I'll first start with the first kind of side job I did in Japan was actually English teaching. I did private lessons at a cafe every Sunday. The location was right next to Akihabara. So right after my lessons, every week I would go to Akihabara and just kind of walk around, see all the kind of anime culture and all of that otaku kind of stuff. It was pretty interesting to see lots of retro places also with old video game consoles. It was kind of a interesting experience. I used to do it weekly, and I did that for about a year. I really enjoyed teaching with that student because every week we would just bring in a news article and just go over it and talk about the points about it and the deeper meaning and critical think about all the different topics that we would go over. So that was my first experience as an English teacher. I've actually never taught English full-time. It's always part-time on these kind of side jobs with no official company, just personal lessons. But I kind of like teaching because you can see the student grow and see their progress. And especially with 1 year of teaching, you can definitely see how their test scores have changed from the TOEIC, which is the English proficiency test. And it's just kind of self-gratifying when you have that impact in somebody's life. And so I think that's kind of the theme that I had going on when I'm looking for a job after that point, is who I can help and what kind of progress can I make. Can I help grow a company, or can I help grow a department, or help make an impact in someone's life? So after that, I did other part-time jobs, such as I was an English interviewer for a third-party company, and we were doing interviews for Disney in Florida, where the students would come and I would give an English interview for them, and if they passed their other interviews, they would go to Florida for about a year or two to work at the Disney Pavilion in, I'm not sure which one Florida is, but the Disney over there. And that was also kind of an interesting experience too, because I was an interviewer. So I would have to kind of quantify the different aspects of 10-15 candidates every day. And this was on top of my schoolwork, so I didn't do this every day, but I did this about, there were periods of interview periods where it would last 3 months, and I would do it about 2 or 3 times a week. That was kind of an interesting experience too, because I've never interviewed someone before, and I didn't really know what I was doing. I don't even really know how I got that job or if I was even really qualified for it, but they liked my work and I kept going back for a few interview sessions, which were the 3-month periods. And I did that for about a year or two also. And so that was another job, but my most kind of permanent job was teaching at Eikaiwa, which is an English school. I did that part-time after school. My friend helped get me the job in university. And I did that for about 3 or 4 years, part-time, 2-3 times a week, Saturdays also. And the classes that I would teach would be 1-to-1 or 1-to-3, me being the one, and then 2 or 3 students, or it's usually 1 student. And that was also a great experience too, because I would teach students from all ages, from about 5 or 6 years old to even like more elderly people looking to learn English as a hobby. And that was kind of a good source of income for me. It was my main source of income actually, as I was living in Japan. And I got a good amount money from that. And I recommend also teaching part-time too if you're a student here. English, it's pretty easy to get a job here. I don't think there's any big challenges, and I recommend actually working with one of the smaller schools compared to one of the big conglomerate companies. I think that personal experience is a lot better instead of the whole kind of business like experience that the big companies will offer you. Maybe if you're looking for a career in English teaching, those big companies would do you a lot better. But if you're just looking at a part-time job, something not to do in a permanent basis, I recommend working from one of the smaller English schools. Another side job I did was working as a translator. And so that was kind of crazy because I have no qualifications to even translate in any language, much less my Japanese ability. Even now, I have no Japanese qualifications from the JLPT, which is a Japanese language proficiency test. And I was translating for them. I was translating mostly tourism documents and tourism websites. And I even did a PR video too, which I'm showing in a card up above. And that was really tiring, but I liked it because it was more like freelance work instead of a part-time job where I would have deadlines and they gave me a bunch of documents to translate and I would bill them on how many hours I actually worked on the documents. I also wanted to kind of drive home the point where you don't really need to be qualified to do these kind of jobs. I translated right. I don't even have any qualifications like I mentioned before. And so many people have the idea that you need to pass a certain proficiency level in the Japanese language test to get a job here in Japan, but that's not true. I don't have a proficiency test qualification, and even now I don't have one. I've never passed the Japanese language proficiency test, any level. I'm taking the test again this December, so please root for me to pass that test. However, it's not necessary if you have the network of people around you to help you find a job, because all of the jobs I mentioned here, they're all referrals from my friends. So the first English teaching job I got, it was a referral from a friend. When I worked at an Eikaiwa or an English language school, that was a reference from my friend also in university. And also the interviewing too was a referral from a university friend. So I think it's important to try to make as many friends as you can around here and make sure you have those connections with you in order to have the most opportunities, because I could have not found any of these jobs without the network of friends that I have and opening myself up and putting myself out there to try new experiences and be open in general. And I think that's really important when visiting a country like Japan. As an American, I would not try so many new opportunities. I would always kind of play it safe, but here I'm open to trying everything at least once, or most things at least once, to see how I like it and take away the experience I have from that and move on to my next thing where I can use that experience for something else and trying new things. And that's pretty exciting around here. So that's just some of the part-time jobs I had while I was at university. In the future video, I'll talk more about Shushoku Katsudo, which is job hunting in Japan, and also my experience as a full-time worker in Japan, as I've had 3 years so far up until now in 2021. And I had 3 different jobs. I'll go over them later. However, that's it for now. Please leave a like if you liked the video. Subscribe if you want to see more content from me. Leave a comment about anything you want me to talk about in future videos. And that's it. Thanks, guys.